Welcome to another episode of Chef Knives to Go Quick Look Product Reviews. I'm Steve Gamache, and we've got a very special knife in this video. We have the Triple H Tribal Pattern Damascus Fillet Knife, 200 millimeter blade. And so Randy and his son make, they just do a fabulous job with everything they do. Their craftsmanship is just exquisite. But one of the things they do is make their own pattern welded Damascus steel, and this particular one's what they call their tribal pattern, and it's just wicked looking. We'll get a close up at it, but it's just awesome in person. It's so cool. This Damascus is composed of layers of 1080 and 15N20 steel. The heat treat's about 59 to 60 Rockwell, Randy said on the knife. The construction is, again, a pure Damascus blade. The weight on the knife is pretty light, 3.7 ounces, about 106 grams. And the edge length, which I measured from the tip to where the curve kind of comes in here, is about 200 millimeter, about 8 inches. Overall length, about 335 for the whole knife. And one of the defining characteristics of this blade is its thinness. We start at about 1.7 millimeters, and then I'm actually going to focus in here a little early, but it's about 1.7 millimeters right here. And then it just tapers down, and it tapers down, and it tapers down, and it tapers down. And look at that tip. I've seen some thin tips, but I've never seen a tip this thin. It's just ridiculous how thin and flexy this tip is. We'll get into that, but this is just a crazy, amazing knife. The blade height is about 20 millimeters. And I measured that back here. And the handle, let's go back in again. The handle is just so well done. It is a Cocobolo burl handle with copper pins and a copper mosaic pin as well. And the fit and finish is just gorgeous on this. It is so nicely done. And this might be one of the most comfortable handles I've ever felt. It's just so, the curves and the way it fits your hand is just very, very, very comfortable. I've got a hand that's kind of on the smaller side of medium, but you could easily fit a larger hand on this. But it's just, you pick it up and you're like, wow, is this comfortable? It's just, again, it's super well done. And just all the little details are there. The metal work, the finish, the curves, the fine details. Here's your logo. Here's the steel pattern in the Damascus, the tribal pattern. It's just amazing. This is just one gorgeous knife. So Randy did want me to show you this tip, and this tip just has, it's so thin, it's got that crazy amount of flex to it, and it's just, so the whole knife kind of has almost a linear amount of flex going from that extremely thin tip, to a little bit more backbone near the back, but the whole blade does have a bit of flex to it. And like I said, it's kind of a nice linear manner resulting from that great linear distal taper. So this is just crazy how this tip flexes. So I don't know what else I can tell you about this blade. It's just fantastic. The fit and finish is exquisite. The craftsmanship is amazing. It's just gorgeous to look at. The knife does come with a leather sheath, and it's got some nice scallops on it. It's made pretty well. It's really actually very nicely made. It looks really nice, nicely burnished. But one thing you want to really be aware of, and Randy and I had an email conversation, but putting the knife in, I could see, I did not do that, but I could see immediately how you could catch that tip on the inside leather because it's rather rough on the inside. So you really got to be careful inserting this blade into that sheath. You don't want to just go jamming it in there. And don't blame anybody if you put that in there, you catch that tip and you bend it. You've got to really be careful to center it in there and get it in there well. It holds the knife well, but you just got to really watch it. You might want to try to come up with something you can put on the tip that's small enough to protect it, but yet get into the sheath and then come back out again. I tried one of these little donuts, and it's just, it's too big. It just won't work. So I don't know what you might want to come up with, a piece of plastic or something that you can stick on that tip, but just keep that in mind. If you're going to use this in the field, you might need the sheath. If you're using it inside, you may just want to keep it in your knife drawer or get a custom saya for it or something like that, just to guard that tip. I emailed Randy and asked him a little bit about the knife, so here's what he said. He said, overall, it's the thinnest tip I've ever ground, at least on purpose, LOL, and or without messing up the temper by overheating. This tip and the first 1/2 to 1 inch of the blade flex and rebound perfectly, so I know that it has not been overheated. Smiley. People don't fully understand how hard it is to grind a long, thin knife like this and the hours of care that go into it. I know that in any one pass of the grinder, if I mess up, the blade is toast. Due to the thinness, it takes about 3 times as many passes on a grinder to get to a finished knife as when grinding a thicker blade. So that's from the man himself, and so this is just an amazing knife. Don't mean to ramble on and on, but it's just worth knowing a little bit about the behind the scenes. So here you have the Triple H Damascus, tribal pattern Damascus fillet knife, 200 millimeter.